Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News, another emergency video here in the VALORANT world. That is because some big roster announcements have gone down today, especially Cloud9 in the Americas, and former Cloud9 player Ye, his team has now been made official after all the rumours and speculation over the last several weeks. Who would join Bleed? Would it be Ye? Turns out that is now official. What does this mean for that region? The Pacific is looking really exciting. How much is he getting paid? We don't really know. The rumour is though it's a 2-year deal Ye has signed with this franchise. Will he be able to return to his best? How will the team fare? Will he be able to take this team all the way to the top of the franchising league? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. So as we just saw some rumours of the new duelist going around here, the new agent that's coming through, this is kind of one of the images I've seen so far. So as always, not much to say or to read into, but nonetheless, one to have a look at. Now, firstly, of Rostermania, because a lot has happened this afternoon, Safe from Team Liquid. Lots of rumours as to what Team Liquid have been up to, what changes they're trying to make. We saw the whole Redgar thing. Was he on Liquid? Was he not? Maybe he's now on Giants. Of course, so many changes they're considering making, but Safe is an interesting one nonetheless. He's departing Liquid, and as he says here on Twitter, or X.com, whatever they call it nowadays, not an ending I would have expected, but I've enjoyed it representing this organization and its fans to the best of my ability, and he is going to be joining in its place Vitality, and they are forming a pretty nice team. So it does look like Vitality are trying to take things very serious in terms of their fight next season in EMEA. And look, all the regions right now are really interesting. EMEA, Americas obviously, it always is, but the Pacific is shaping up to be real nice indeed to what we're seeing in a second here with this Bleed Esports roster we shall get into. Going quickly to EMEA again, there's this team, so Case Esports, or however exactly you're pronouncing it, they're going to compete in the Challenger side, and this is their roster. So Yuri, Foxy, players you may or may not know, some names that you might be aware of, Hyber, Killes of course, and also Patty Tech, so Lucas Rojo as well as their head coach. So definitely some big names they're hiring there, no doubt about it, and forming this European team. We'll see if it works out well for them, but nonetheless that should be a potential heavy hitter in the Challengers ecosystem next time round in the European side. Before we get there though, we've got to discuss this Cloud9 team that has now been confirmed. They did some work on the announcement. We knew this roster was coming, and to be honest, I like a large part of it. I'm just a little bit confused as to, of all the players they had the options for, exactly why they went with some of the players they did. So anyway, here's the announcement. Jake stays. The rumour was that all the players on Cloud9 last season, Zelsis and others, were offered less money, and no one really wanted to say yes. Zelsis, for example, probably could have stayed and taken less money, but he was like, why would I do that? I'll just go to Sentinels or take another offer. Jake, understandably, was willing to take that maybe pay cut, or maybe it was the same he was making before because he came in as a rookie last season, I don't know. But they're forming other guys, and let's not forget, Vanity was there at the start of last season. Vanity was on this team. It looked like it was going to be the Vanity and Ye show for the season. That didn't last particularly long, did it? And we soon found out that Vanity was going to be gone, Ye was going to be gone, all sorts of stuff. And well, here we go. Jake is going to stay, and he did a stellar job last season, no doubt. Came in at difficult circumstances, really showed out. So happy to see that Jake stays around. Zeppa has agreed to return, possibly taking a pay cut to do so, we're not exactly sure. And Vanity is coming along as well, back as the IGL. Vanity went down to Shopify Rebellion right during the last season in Challenges, did okay, nothing special, but he comes back in. Zeppa's there, Jake is there, Oxy. I'm really looking forward to watching this guy play, to be honest. Oxy was lighting up the server often on G2 last season. Seems to me like a really promising talent. One that I'm very much happy that Cloud9 have given him a go with, and hopefully it can work out quite well. Now, I thought, to be fair, they would, partner him with MCE, who's had a pretty decent reputation as a coach. MCE, though, got fired, so he's no longer there. And, it's down to the rest of the guys in IMI, of course, to mould him the way they want to mould him. Now, the final player, which is definitely the most controversial signing here, is going to be Whippy, right? He's had experience with these guys before, and he's been into some controversies. You guys remember the drama he had with Ethan, the 10,000 hours thing quite a few months ago. And the general community perception is that Whippy has had his chances and he hasn't really proven to be anything particularly special. But clearly the guys on this team trust him, believe that he's the right man for the job, and therefore they've gone for this move. To be honest, I think there might have been better options in that role in the Tier 2 side, but we'll see because, Cloud9 believe this is the right call and fair play. They know this guy, they believe they can get the best out of him, and this could be a pretty decent team. it seems, compared to the other Americas teams, kind of mid. On paper, let's be honest, you look at this roster of 5, you think, it doesn't scream, wow, this is going to be spectacular. But then again, neither in part did last year's Cloud9 team that ended up being pretty damn good. Did they really get the results in the grand scheme of things that they would have expected, given how good Cloud9 were at a point last season? Probably not. Can this Cloud9 team do it? I'm not so convinced. Definitely intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. An interesting roster. I expect it to be kind of middle of the pack, to be perfectly honest, but we'll see. Maybe Oxy can give them some massive upside if he proves to be as good as many think he can be. Now, let's talk about the Pacific region, because it's been really interesting. PaperX forced to make changes with Jing stepping away. They make their move. Global Esports are making their moves. It all kind of trickles down to a really interesting scenario, and honestly, I'm really happy that Bleed Esports won Ascension, and to be honest, they needed to, because they put a lot of money in here, and I don't know where this money's coming from, I'm not going to lie, because right now we're in this whole esports winter thing. A lot of the European teams they've never really paid massive salaries. The North American teams have, but even then, some of them are starting to run out of money. We know that the burn rate right now that Sentinels are going through, but there's some organizations out there that still have cash to burn, and they want the glory, and they're going to try and achieve it. And this is why an organization, Bleed Esports, that qualified through Ascension as, let's not forget, they have the guest spot in the Pacific League. Now, let's be honest, if they continue as they are on this trajectory, they might even try and win the whole damn thing, like they could be a real contender here in the Pacific region. And in a year's time, Riot might decide, you know what, you've got a guest slot, but maybe let's up that relationship, like let's bring you in as a full-time partner team. I don't think that's out of the realms of possibility. Riot can make those calls if they want to, and I think it will happen at some point. Whether it's Bleed, that's another question. But Bleed were going to get somebody big. They were looking for, a big-name player, a star-studded player in that duelist role, and there was a few players linked. Even Demon 1 was looked at, Aspas was looked at, and we're pretty certain Ye was looked at. And Ye was the one that, given the rumours of Demon 1 being stuck, and given the rumours of Aspas going elsewhere in the Americas, Ye was the one that made the most sense. And the journalists were saying, oh, we're not going to talk about it because it's funny or something. Like, it just makes a lot of sense, and now it's official. This is their announcement video, by the way, and I gotta say, they've done a cracking job putting this together, right? The editing on this, the way they've done it, I'm pretty sure they've got, this is an Aventador, right? Lambo Aventador. I'm pretty sure they actually got one, because it looks, maybe they hide it for the day, or maybe the CEO or whoever's pumping the money and just has one of these lying around that he can get the boys involved in, because, great execution on this video, and we have at the end of this, Ye steps out of the Lambo, doesn't he? So yeah, here you go, steps out of the Aventador, which is not a cheap piece of machinery at all, and then he steps in front of the camera, and here you get El Diablo back in business. So, very exciting stuff as far as I'm concerned. Seeing Ye back on a franchise team is good. Last season was, frankly, a disaster. The fact that he got dropped and he couldn't rejoin because of the roster rules and all this stuff, he wasn't looking good for anybody, and this is now official. Ye's back in the VCT. Let's not forget, Ye didn't have a great year last year. The Cloud9 stint was, well, it was brief. Let's be honest, we didn't really see what Ye was up to, and the role issues, the money issues, whatever, then it came to the fore. Eventually, Ye decided, you know what, let me play Tier 2. Went to DSG, and that was a disaster. There was some drama involved. He was talking about the fact that the rest of his teammates weren't really up to the standard that he would have liked, and obviously he took his own responsibility. There was some drama. They didn't do very well. Ye was probably part of the issues, but fundamentally, people would have expected Ye to go down to Challengers and absolutely farm. That was not really the case. Multiple reasons for that. Does it mean Ye's lost his ability? Has he lost his movement? Has he lost his crosshair placement? Has he lost his aim? No. And he was incredibly good during the 2022 season with Optic, and I'm sure he can get back there again. And he was even great before that on Envy and the other stints that he had. Just last season was a bit of a disaster. But this is now official. Massive free agent, let's be honest. Like, Ye, one of the biggest names in Valorant, hands down. And as Scary says, welcome my lord, this is officially going to be happening now. And as Ye says, I am back, the demon El Diablo, whatever, is back in the building. So how is Ye going to get on this team and out in that region? Makes the Pacific really exciting in general. And how far can Bleed go? Their team is already good. Now you add Ye into the mix. How's it going to work in terms of communication, language barriers, chemistry? These are questions, but at the end of the day, those guys I'm sure will be excited to play with a guy like Ye, and in that region, Ye should be a superstar, no doubt. I mean, he's a superstar in the Americas or even EMEA, so definitely a superstar out there in the Pacific as well. And how's the rest of the team going to fare? This is the roster, by the way, that we believe is the case. Duryon, crazy guy, scary egoist. Legia still as the head coach, like an OG CS guy. And then we've got Ominous, we've got Benedict around, and now Ye is going to be the man to round out the team. So a very international roster from that region. Going to be communicating in English, I imagine. How good can they be, right? Because you look at that region and you think, wow, there's some good teams over there. PaperX, incredibly good most recently. Yes, they've got Monyet now, not Jing. How will that affect them? Don't really know. DRX are really good internally within that region. Other great teams over there as well. How good can Bleed be? Can they be as good as they want to be, which is the best team in the entire world? They're probably spending the most money of any team in the entire world. We don't know what money Ye is making. It's big. It's probably going to be at least 30, 40k a month. I don't know the specifics, but it's a big bag. It's probably bigger than he could have got anywhere in the Americas, hands down, as far as the rumors are concerned. And this is supposedly a 2-year deal. So this isn't like, all right, Ye, this is a nice opportunity for you. Come in, prove you've got it again on the international stage, and then go back to, you know, a team in the Americas, NRG, something like that. This is 2-year deal. You're going to be here for a little bit of time and we intend to keep you around. So yeah, 2-year deal. We don't know what sort of money's involved, but it's going to be pretty big, and fair play to Ye, because I think this just makes a lot of sense. Maybe he could have gone to NRG if he wanted to, and sure, maybe that would have worked out quite nicely, but the idea of moving to another region, living in Seoul, right? He'll be out there in Korea, based, I'm pretty sure that's where the league out there is based, playing for a Singaporean organization, and you know, he's balling obviously now with the money apparently that's coming in, and hopefully he can show up and do well for the organization, do well for the region, and hopefully Bleed can start qualifying for some of these big international tourneys, because if they do, that is going to be fireworks, right, to see Ye versus some of his, you know, former teams. Imagine Bleed versus Cloud9. If we could get that on an international land this year, that would be absolutely mega. So that's the news and the updates for this evening. All the rumors of the last couple of weeks have been coming to a head, and this is now where we find ourselves. So loads more updates, of course, to come on this tomorrow and in the coming days. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.